Hello, Forecaster here again, and we are back for episode 119. And today I learned that Waila is a liar. If I look at one of these logistics modules, you'll see that it says max pressure 5 bars. And I thought that was because the logistics modules had a max pressure. But it turns out they don't. The reason it says that is because they are sitting on a regular pressure tube, which has a pressure of 5 bars, or max pressure. The logistic modules themselves don't actually have that. They don't have a max value, that is. They will inherit whatever tube's value they're sitting on, because they're one block, essentially. So you can put these on high pressure tubes, which I didn't think was possible before. The reason I bring this up is because I have had a few issues with my refinery. Namely, when the LPG storage tanks fill up, the top tank in the refinery fill up completely. And even if I empty these tanks out somewhat by selling the LPG for emeralds with the Amadron system, the refinery doesn't start working again because the logistics module is not able to empty the tank. And the reason for this is because it tries to move all 16 buckets of LPG at once, instead of moving a smaller amount. And this is, of course, intentional. But it can't do that because it only has 4.8 bars of pressure to work with, which isn't enough, apparently, to move 16 buckets, these 4 blocks, I think, over here. I don't know if it counts from the tank or from the logistics module. So this is trying to pull LPG from this here, and this only has 4.8 bars of pressure available. So I'm going to have to replace some of these tubes with with high pressure tubes and connect them to the high pressure side of my system. Now, I also learned that the logistics module calculates distance based on the actual distance between the modules. It doesn't pathfind through the tubes like I assumed. So if I remove this bridge here, which I believe I only put there initially to provide pressure to these because they weren't connected over here, but the fluid doesn't actually have to travel through these tubes over here and then up this way and up through this tube here and over here. It still only calculates the cost based on this distance over here, which is handy because as the only bridge between the low pressure side and the high pressure side is the compressors over here, that would be quite a long distance otherwise. Stupid rain. So I'm going to have to make some more high pressure tubes or advanced pressure tubes because I have run out of them. So I'm going to make some of these pressure chamber valves using compressed iron, because that is the easiest way, of course. So we are going to go get a few blocks of iron, and I know I have a couple here already. Now I would like some more. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn that over like that. Turn on this to keep things from coming in here, even though they probably won't. Then we are going to grab one of these, and let's see how many I have. Enough for 3. Okay. Now I can't craft these blocks, as you probably know, but 3 of them should be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw these ingots in here. They're going to be smelted down and sent into this block caster here. And then they're going to be cast into iron blocks, of course. And that will provide... And since I picked out the ingots, just the right amount of ingots to make the blocks, the molten iron amount will be the same as well, of course, and will be just enough for 3 blocks. Oh, right. Just go in here. And the filter should be set to get them out. So if I turn this off, I think. No? Ah, there we go. Ah, because it doesn't start with compressed. So we are going to replace the tubes that go from here. So we're going to disconnect this and connect it to this side instead. Then we're going to replace the tubes all the way over here and along this line of tanks here with high pressure tubes and remove these ones here. That is going to provide, what is it? 19 bars of pressure to these modules, which is hopefully going to fix my problems with the refinery. Now, we've started to run out of oil, as you can see. Right, I removed the dispenser upgrade from that to be able to empty out 2 cells of oil I had collected down in the cave. But now these should be allowed to fill the tank again. But you can see the reservoir is emptying. I have started constructing the foundation for the new let's do that. The new for the railway that is going to go to the new oil well. And we are probably going to tricky. Yeah, pressure is leaking out. I think we can cut this off right now to minimize the air loss. It will shut down the refinery for now, but that's alright. I might actually have to remove the compressors again to do this. Which is a little inconvenient. The stupid rain sounds through here are pretty annoying. Also, my inventory is once again full of garbage and junk. Right, so we are going to have to empty these. Oh, right. For some reason, they only take out 100 at a time from these. I would assume it's something to do with the way they've been programmed. So, I'm going to be right back once I have fixed this. Alright, so here we are again, and now these should hopefully pop into place, and then we can put the compressors back and rotate them like that. Excellent. And then we can put these on there. We'll throw this stuff back in here for now, because once the pressure, once the logistics modules have been reconnected, they should start filling up the compressors again. Although I might have to provide some initial pressure for that. It's a little unfortunate that you cannot remove just the tubes and leave the logistics modules in place. It's also a little annoying that you cannot place the logistics modules first. That would be really handy to be able to do. And it seems 16 tubes was just enough to do that. Now we only need one more to connect to this system here. things come online, we should see things start to flow. Now, I want to see if this... well, the diesel part is full. The LPG part isn't. But now, since the LPG requesting have access to, or will have access to higher pressure, hopefully they will be able to pull 16 buckets of LPG from the refinery should it fill up. Now, since the other ones are closer, we have this one requesting kerosene, this one requesting diesel, and this one over here is requesting gasoline. These two, the kerosene and the diesel one, are close enough that they shouldn't need more than 4.8 bars. The gasoline one also will have access to higher pressures, which should allow this to pull a lot better as well. So we're almost up to 5 bars, which is... that's odd. Huh. Wonder why it said 0 bar. Oh well. This is doing well. As you can probably see. We are going to have a look at the level indicator system at some point in the future. Right now, though, I don't have the resources I need for that. So that will have to wait for a while. I think I'm going to recharge this, which actually did the opposite. It drained some pressure from it because it's still building up. Oh well. Let's head outside and have a look at... actually, we're going to head into the workshop first. And in here, we are going to grab this. A fluid loader. And then we are going to head outside for real this time. Now, as you can see, I have constructed a bridge for a track that goes over to the new oil well. You can see there is an unloader underneath here with a locking track on top of it. I'm going to need to find my crowbar. Whoops. That was not what I meant to do. Don't have it in here. I'm positive I have a crowbar somewhere. I'm going to need that to toggle the mode of the locking track. Then we have this tank cart here, of course, with a filter that we're going to remove because we don't want this to be carrying water. Now, I think the crowbar is down in the workshop on a shelf or in a tool rack. Let's see if we can find it quickly. Yeah, there it is. My reinforced crowbar. We're going to head outside again. Get up here. It's the quickest way up to the platform. And we are going to turn... Oh, great. I'm starving. Well, we're going to turn this to boarding mode in that direction. Now if I push this onto it, we'll send the card off and we'll see how far it gets. Because we are going to need to place booster tracks to allow it to make it all the way over to the other end, of course. Let's grab some berries here to stave off starvation while we are working. I really like the heads-up display of the nano suit helmet. It's really handy, I think. So let's see how far the cart made it. Over there. Pretty straightforward. So it looks like it almost made it halfway, which is nice. So we're going to place some booster tracks around here. Probably do. Dang it. And yes, I could be using the crowbar for this, but that will cost durability, and I'd rather not spend it if I don't have to. Tracks are easy enough to break. Anyway, we are going to jump off here. Let's see if we can find the track that fell. We're going to put a post on the side somewhere. Oh. There then. For a redstone torch to power the booster tracks. So now, if we push... Dang it. If we push the cart back onto the booster tracks, it will go back to the station. It will hit the unloader, which of course will send it right back. And then we'll see how far it gets this time. Maybe I should put some booster tracks by that corner. And it did make it to this end. Since I have a lot of booster tracks, I might as well put some over here, I think, for the way back. Because why not? It's not like they're particularly expensive or difficult to make. So we're going to put another torch there. And let's go fix this stuff over here. We are going to need to break the cart. because it's sitting on top of the track that I need. Let's do this to free up some space. Now we're going to set this to boarding mode as well, facing that way. And we are going to put the... Oh. Whoops. I forgot that tracks don't have any support power. So that will do instead. And I'm going to have to get a new locking track. Of course, to replace the one I stupidly broke. Let's remove some tracks here to put a few more booster tracks. Dang it. I hate dropping things in the ocean. Such a pain to retrieve them. But whatever, it's just a track. Don't feel like diving it down there for it. Right. So let's put let's take this and we are going to head in here. We're going to run up to the train station. I should have more locking tracks in here somewhere, I think. No? I completely forgot where I had them. Must be down in here then. Nothing there. There they are. So we need one of these. We also need to retrieve the bat box from out here. Come on. Ah. Thank you. To power our electric compressor that we're going to use for the gas lift again. We're going to want to set this to empty. Yeah, that's the default anyway, which is good. Then we are going to head over here up to the track and out to our oil platform. The track is elevated, of course, to keep mobs away from it, as I usually do. There we go. So now let's not swoosh the track by accident. Let's put platforms here to walk on. So now, of course, we're going to put the gas lift, which I have in here. down over the oil, of course. So we're going to actually, I almost forgot that we're going to, of course, need some tubes to power it. So we can also use those as the support structure for the gas lift. So this should work. Hopefully it won't fall down into the oil. Excellent. Now, unfortunately, we have reached the end of this episode. So, we're going to come back in the next one and complete this setup, of course. Set up the power supply for this. And see the oil start flowing. So, I will see you then.
You stand before the final dimension, and I am the darkness of eternity. All life bears death from birth. Life fears death, but lives only to die. The only cure for this fear is total destruction. I exist for one purpose. To return everything back to the zero world, where there is no life and no crystal to give life. In a world where nothing, fear does not exist. This is the world that all life desires. Your fears have already deluded you. Now come, why defy your fate? Enter the zero world that you desire. This is not the end. I am eternal. As long as there is life and death.